What's going on? For those who are just joining in, we're going to be reacting to this video here that I just posted. So you guys can get a my post commentary, my different thoughts when making this video. Even though my argument in this video is that Jesus is a Muslim, I also believe there's other arguments to be made throughout this video, so I'm super excited to kind of review it. So we're just gonna give it a few minutes until a couple more people trickle in, probably around like 3:10, 3:15, and then we're going to we're really gonna start. We'll start reviewing this, but I kind of want to watch this video beforehand. Would you rather have your kids convert to atheism or Islam? It's two very interesting people, Ben Shapiro versus Alex O'Connor. And so, yeah, like I said, we're just going to give it a few minutes and then we will hop in. Or maybe we'll just kind of get in.
Genuine interest. Would you rather your child comes to you and says,
let me know if the volume is fine or not. But yeah, like I said, in like 5 minutes we're gonna review the video I posted yesterday, which is for anyone who's watched this video. I very much appreciate all the support I've gotten. It's been awesome. It's actually, in terms of views, my best video so far, like in the first 24 hours. So that's been cool to see. I've also had a lot of amazing comments. I've had a lot of funny comments as well, where meaning like people have had no argument to what I've said. So it's been interesting to see. Unfortunately, people's egos get decimated to some degree. If you're a Christian or an atheist, feel free to come and say your thoughts. Muslims as well, of course. And for any of those that are watching right now, please go to my description and enter my Discord if you guys want to come chat to me live. I'm gonna say this a few times throughout the stream, but yeah, when I start doing these streams more often, I'm gonna have like live discussions with people. For anyone who wants to chat, I'll give them like 5 minutes, 10 minutes maybe to then come chat. But yeah, come join my Discord, and yeah, it'd be great just to talk to anyone: Muslims, Christians, atheists, Jews. Right? I've actually had a couple Jews recently comment on my videos, so that's been funny to watch. But yeah, please come join my Discord if you guys want to get the chance to just come debate or talk or ask me questions. Yeah, please don't hesitate to come join. So, we're gonna just give it a couple more minutes. Let me close my window real quick. Yeah, so like I said, if you guys want to come chat to me live, on my next stream, we're gonna try and test this out. Hopefully it works. Hopefully I set up my Discord properly. But yeah, if you're interested in just having a discussion or just want to ask me questions about why I'm Muslim, or if you want to teach me something, like, right, you're a Muslim yourself and you want to teach me something, this is your time to come do that. My next stream, I'll have a better basis of what my schedule is going to be when it comes to streaming. But yeah, don't hesitate. Christians, Muslims, atheists, whoever is obviously welcome to come join my stream when I do have my live stages, and to come debate me or question me or test me on my knowledge or even just teach me something. Everyone is more than welcome to come join, for sure. And so I think it would be fun. I get the feeling that this community is going to be, it's going to be hairy, meaning like, we're going to have very frivolous and, hopefully not aggressive conversations, but I am a Muslim. That's correct. Thank you, Pacific Atlantic North. I am Muslim. It's been about a year or so, or a little less than a year since I've done my Shahada, but I've been practicing for almost 2 years now in February. But yeah, so for this video, I'm going to be reacting to a video. Walaikum salam. Welcome, Saad. How often? So I'll probably stream around 3 times a week, 3 to 4 times a week. Tuesdays and Thursdays being the weekdays, or maybe a Monday, Thursday type vibe. And then, oh, you don't, all right, well, we'll get into that. Before we go into this, we can look at Surah 30, Surah Al-Rum, where the Holy Prophet, hey, thank you, Jumper, where the Holy Prophet perfectly predicts the battle where Rome defeats Persia after they lost 8 years prior. So, historically inaccurate is just absolutely incorrect. Sorry, bro, did you answer my question? So I only stream here on YouTube, and I will be streaming. I will be streaming on YouTube, and I'll be streaming every Tuesday, Thursday. I believe in Jesus. He's the Messiah. Yeah. Well, hey, you came to the right. We're gonna watch this video in a few minutes. This video I just posted yesterday. We're gonna watch this together. So for those asking about my streaming schedule, so Tuesdays and Thursdays will be my debate type of live streams, or if you want to come teach me something, I was a Protestant Christian beforehand. But yeah, if you guys want to come teach me something, or if you guys want to come debate me, or if you just want to just say salam, whatever you guys want, you guys can come join my Discord, and we will be doing those type of live streams like once a week, Tuesday, Thursdays, maybe twice a week. And then on the weekend will probably be like what I'm going to do today, where I'm going to be reviewing this video here. Yeah, well, it was a prophecy, exactly. Yeah. I got it wrong. It was a full-on prophecy. I mean, the prophecy of Surah Al-Rum, which I read this yesterday and it blew my mind, right? I mean, the beautiful thing about the Quran is that no matter how many times you read it, you always learn something new. And I reread Surah Al-Rum, and my mind was blown. That, I mean, his prophecy would be like someone predicting that the USSR in 1991, after their collapse, would then end up beating America. Now, obviously, it wasn't a full-on defeat. The defeat of Persia and Rome happened a few years later to the Muslim conquest. But yes, look at Surah Al-30. Yeah, that's correct. That's correct. Yeah, don't worry, Pacific. We are going to watch this. I mean, we'll get in another time. We can definitely get into the. Yeah, we knew that you pull that out. I mean, we're talking about the gospel being all secondhand accounts. The earliest gospel manuscript that we have is from the book of John, and that was at best a secondhand account, probably a third-hand account, and all of those names didn't even come until the 4th century. But yes, so I think we have a couple people. Oh, we have 11 people in. Beautiful. I think we're gonna start with watching the video here soon. But yeah, if you think it's historically inaccurate, then just look at Surah Al-Rum. Just look at that one. It's a 30 surah. It's the first couple ayahs in the surah, and even the Arabic word, I don't remember what the Arabic word was. I will educate myself and come back with that another time. But in that word, it says it specifically means 3 to 9 years, and the Quran is telling us through the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, that after this massive defeat from Persia towards Rome, that Rome would have an epic victory and defeat as well. It wasn't the ultimate collapse, but it was what led to the collapse. The economies were ruined. The military was demoralized, as well as the king of Persia, after that defeat to Rome, ended up getting assassinated. And so, do I deny? No, I do not deny that the Gospels go back to the first century. I've never said that, but they're second and third hand accounts for sure, without a doubt. What was my main motivation to leave Christianity? So actually, no. That's a beautiful question. Actually, searching deeper. Sorry, I haven't been looking at the comments, but no, that's a beautiful question. My goal was not to leave Christianity. My goal was to re-become a Christian again. I was Christian as a kid. Jesus being God never made sense to me. But fast forward about like 10 years later, I wanted to get back into the faith, like fully practicing rather than just believing in God. I wanted to obey God. And, after reading the Quran, after reading the Bible, cover to cover, it made just, first of all, the logical sense where Jesus never explicitly calls himself God. And then now we start to see through the grammatical, the Arabic, or the grammatical, the Aramaic, and the Hebrew text, the grammatical text, that it proves otherwise, that Jesus is obviously not God. And then I started practicing as a Muslim. And I was practicing a Christian. I practiced Lent, and Lent, you give up some things, but it's not meaningful. Whereas Ramadan, it's an extremely meaningful holiday for sure. So, what do you mean a false prophet? He had prophecies. He was known as Al Amin, the trustworthy one, and that was before he was a prophet, right? That's historically true. And so yeah, I'm gonna let some of you duke it out in the chat, because we are going to look in the cave of Hira. The angel that appeared to Muhammad was not legit. And then how is the angel who appeared to Paul not legit? He did have a prophecy. Look at Surah Al-Rum, the 30th surah of the book of the Quran. It was a full-on prophecy where it predicted a massive victory from Rome over Persia. And so yes, he actually did have it's funny, he actually did have many. First of all, the Quran is its own miracle in itself, but also he had other miracles as well, such as he had one where he fed a bunch of his companions through bread, as well as giving them waters from his hands. The Big Bang was also mentioned in the Quran as well. He did have a prophecy. Look at Surah Al-Rum. Let me show you guys. Surah 30. All right, so this was revealed before this was revealed right during when the Romans were defeated by Persia. So the Romans have been defeated in a nearby land, yet following their defeat, they will triumph. Within 3 to 9 years, the whole matter rests with Allah before and after victory. And so you guys need to look up that this is 100% historically accurate. Look, read it. And yes, I know that it was a reference to Alexander the Great. Walaikum salam. Welcome to the chat. Thank you, everyone. All right, yeah, we're going to start this video in a couple minutes here. But yeah, if you say that, just look at this surah alone. If you say you had no prophecies, this is 100%, without a doubt, historically accurate. So split into sex. Yeah, it's what happened with Shia and Sunni is a political matter, not a religious matter. That's political history, not religious history. It has not been debunked. This has not been debunked. It's funny when you show someone a direct prophecy or a miracle. That's been debunked. It's not been debunked. That was not debunked. Yeah, so the Torah and the Gospel, that's actually the Torah and the Injil. Nope, that's a lie, Maria, but I appreciate you coming to my channel to engage. Okay, but if you also look at, if you searching deeper, he's a created angel, and he worked through Allah, or Allah. He's the one who delivered the message to the Prophet Muhammad. If you also look at when Moses received the message from God from the burning bush, that was also through an angel. This is fact. This is 100% fact. Surah Al-Rum. It's 100% fact. There's nothing that you can say about it. Yeah, look, it's the Injil was the oral tradition that was given to Jesus, just as the Torah was the oral tradition given to Moses. Obviously, the Torah that we have today is a storybook. Obviously, the Gospels that we have today is the life of Jesus. It's not the oral tradition that Jesus brought. Nope, Stephen, that's incorrect. We already talked, Steve. We already did this whole can Allah enter into creation? No, we already talked about this. I appreciate the engagement, though. Always come back, Steve. Always come back for more. I appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Injil was the oral tradition. Injil was the oral tradition. Yeah, they wrote their book with their own hands. Yeah, because the Injil was the oral tradition. That's why it's not found. That's why it's not found. If you even want to look at the book of Luke, right? It even says that Jesus came with his oral traditions. I do know what Jesus has taught. Thank you. All right, I think this is the perfect time where we can start the video. But yeah, so anyways, we'll start here. Let's get it going. Hopefully it's loud enough. You're Pacific. It's confirming that the Injil, not the Gospel. The Gospel was the word that was corrupted. The Injil was the oral tradition that Jesus came with. Here we go. Take the whole Jesus being a Muslim as a serious argument. I always thought it was just Muslims online who were just trying to rage bait Christians. And which is true. I always thought it was kind of like, I'm going to explain it here. As a Muslim myself, I do believe that Jesus worshipped the one true God, in which Islam by definition means submitting to one and one God only. Now, again, I always just thought it was just Muslims just doing a funny jab or a gotcha moment, and I never really thought Christians took it that seriously. Until I started to see the loads of Christians getting so defensive and come up with all of these Taekwondo, Exhibit A, look at the chat, mental jumping jab, Exhibit A, look at the chat, rocket surgery videos and arguments to try and prove otherwise. So it really got me thinking, maybe I should educate myself, really dig into the Bible, and see if Jesus really was a Muslim. Here are 3 reasons why the Bible confirms that Jesus is a Muslim. The first reason is that Jesus prostrated when praying to God. Steven, look, it's been days, bruv. I don't know what video you're referring to be honest. Prostration when praying is literally the most prone position a person can do with their body. Getting down on all fours with your head on the ground is the highest honor and one of the most exposed and prone things a person can do. I'm not running away from my Quran. I've literally answered all of your questions. Can do. It shows that you haven't answered mine. Really reveres the thing that they're praying towards, and it is a practice where devout Muslims do this 17 times a day. So yes, there are other major religions like Hinduism and Buddhism that do frequently prostrate, but no other religion like Islam, has it mandatory and it's baked into the religion where they prostrate multiple times a day. I'm not... What are you talking about? No. So instead of just showing you different verses where Jesus might have prostrated or where he prostrated in the Bible, and spoiler alert, you should know my argument at this point, considering I'm making this video, but I'm going to be showing you the Greek, the Hebrew, and the Aramaic grammatical context to truly understand. Yes, because the Bible, the Gospel, were written stories about the life of Jesus, right? Does that make sense? So I'm going to the information that talked about his life. It's like his biography, right? But it's not about his prophecies. Or I mean, it is about his prophecies, but it's not about what he taught, his traditions. I believe that I believe that parts of the Bible were true, and I believe that parts of the Bible were corrupted. Like, you can have both thoughts. Understand what words were being used, what verses they were in, and who Jesus was praying towards. Yeah, Muhammad, 100%. The Hebrew Bible uses 4 primary... Also, tell me if these words need to be bigger. Where's your proof about corruption? Look at the ending of Mark. Look at the ending of Mark. Pacific Atlantic North. Look at the ending of Mark. Look at the story about who would cast the first stone. Those were all not part of the original manuscripts. Those were all not part of the original manuscripts. Verbs for prostration type actions. The first being shakha. Shakha is used over 170 times in the Old Testament, and its full meaning is full body bowing or prostration. It is used for both God and kings. An example of this is in Exodus 34:8 when Moses bowed down to God when being instructed to create the new 10 Commandments. The next prostration word that is in the Old Testament is nafal, meaning to literally fall face first in fear or worship. You see Abraham nafal God in Genesis 17:3 when receiving the covenant, and the first word nafal is the exact phrase for the Islamic style sujood. The third Hebrew word is kadad, meaning partial bow, as in the upper body bending forward. And while looking at the first example of Exodus 34:8 when Moses bowed down, the word here is kadad, and when he prostrated, the word is shakha, perfectly matching the Islamic way of praying like ruku and sujood. The final Hebrew word for... Well, I'm actually looking at the Old Testament. This is the Old Testament, Pacific. And I already told you, look at this, the casted stone. He also did pray while standing up. That's correct. Prostration is kara, which means to kneel, and is typically a precursor for full prostration. Hey, 72-bit. Yo, reverts in the chat. Let's go. In Psalms 95:6, we once again see the word shakha, but this time being used with kara. So far, we have 4 Hebrew words for prostration. So here's argument number 1, right? This is the grander argument, right? So the Old Testament so far uses 4 different words for praying, right, or prostration, right? 4 different words, which can be extremely confusing in my opinion, right? Why, and this even proves the point that the Quran came in a easy to understand language, Arabic, where we already have 4 different words for prostration. Are used for both humans and God, with the word nafal being the one typically used for God alone. However, there are some other times it is not used exclusively for God. Now you might be thinking to yourself, wow, the Bible uses a lot of different words for prostration. And you're right, it's kind of not. Pacific, answer my question about the ending of Mark being corrupted. Or the stone. Or who casted the first stone. I've answered every single one of your questions. This is ridiculous. It's funny. I'm trying to teach you something here. Hopefully you learn. You probably won't. Unfortunately, there's 2 other words in the Old Testament that still have a meaning of prostration. Let's check them out. In Aramaic, there are 2 prostration words used in the Old Testament, and they are sagad and nafal. Sagad means to prostrate oneself and is the closest biblical term to Islamic sujood linguistically. The word nafal is of course the Aramaic form of the Hebrew word nafal, and here's an example of King Nebuchadnezzar falling on his face to the prophet Daniel. The key difference between the two is that the word Sagad is exclusively used for deities, as in the one true God or false idols, and not for humans, while the word Nephal can be used for God or humans, but not idols. I wanted to bring all this context because understanding the word worship and who is receiving this word. I mean, searching deeper, that's a ridiculous question. That's like asking, do you believe as a Christian that Moses split the Red Sea or that he had locusts come? Like, that's a ridiculous question. Worship is extremely critical to understand the Bible and even try to argue if Jesus is God. So this was a little Old Testament warm-up. I told you, the Injil and the original Torah were oral traditions that were taught. The Bible, the new Torah, and the Gospels are just stories. They're like biographies. Jesus didn't come down with the Gospel. The Gospels were made after the life of Jesus. Come on. To help uncover the truth and give us a deep layer of grammatical understanding to see if Jesus is truly a Muslim. In the New Testament, there are 4 Greek verbs that stand for prostration: proskuneo, pipto, gonopiteo, and compto. Proskuneo is one of the most famously misinterpreted words of worship in the New Testament, where Christians will argue that Jesus receives worship from people. For example, we see in Matthew 14:33, "Then those who were in the boat worshipped him, saying, 'Truly you are the Son of God.'" Apologists will be like, see, Jesus is receiving worship. He must be God. However, in Revelations 3:9, Jesus tells his followers, "I will make them come and worship before your..." They were written by people who walked, who traveled with the apostles. They were not written by the apostles themselves. Feet. And so if the word proskuneo was strictly for divine worship, then Jesus basically just called his followers gods, which is obviously not the case. So as we can see, proskuneo is used often in the context of God, Jesus, angels, and humans. Pipto, which is identical to Islamic sujud linguistically and physically, is used for God and angels. But the angels corrected John by saying, "Don't do that. I'm a fellow servant with you and with your brothers and sisters who hold the testimony of Jesus, worship God." While gonopiteo seems to be another variation of proskuneo, since God... Steve, bring up that ayah that says so. In Pacific, just like how your claims are that I can't get out of my own historical Jesus dilemma, you can't get out of the understanding that Jesus never received worship the way God did. Yes, we have actual manuscripts from the time of the prophet. I'm not live on TikTok. Jesus, humans, and angels all receive this type of bowing. And finally, Campto is used only towards God, as all humans will bow down to God on the day of judgment. So I wanted to add one quick editor's note, because as you can see, that it is actually used again towards humans, or it's for humans. I actually made a mistake on this part, but we'll listen. And the verse comes from Philippians 2:10, that at the name of Jesus, every knee should bow, of things in heaven and things in earth and things under the earth. And so some of you might be thinking, oh, it's for Jesus. No, grammatically, it is not towards Jesus. It's just in the name of Jesus, like he is the Messiah. All living things, humans, creations, animals will all bow down. And again, Jesus is not the recipient of this bowing. Whew. And the one part I do want to add here is this applies to God. I guess I overlooked this part from before, but yes, so this applies to God. This was like, it seemed like the only time it was ever used was in Philippians 2:10. All bowed down. And again, Jesus is not the recipient of this bowing. Whew. Okay, don't worry. The next 2 points won't be nearly as long, but just to summarize, there are 10 total words in the whole Bible that have a physical element to worship, whether it's through prostration, bowing, or kneeling. Well, the question is, if we even want to look at the biblical text about the crucifixion, why would Jesus then ask God to take the cup off of his hands, right? When it came to this burden, like, why couldn't he just take the burden off himself? Now, come on. What do you mean? Searching deeper, you are searching pretty deep, my friend. I don't know if you're searching in the right direction, though. I mean, look, like the truth is that you're trying to tell us that a trinity is God. Like three different entities are God. Like that is insane. And honestly, I actually kind of sympathize with Christians that might get confused or might overlook or might not think that the whole Bible is. And Jumperholics, that is 100%. Inflated, but I bet you even if Jesus came down, they would not accept him. The truth of the matter is that there are a lot of different points where it's kind of hard to understand. No. The Holy Spirit is the angel Jibril. And so, obviously, we didn't just do a whole grammar lesson just to talk about words. We're looking at to see whether Jesus prostrated towards God and if any of his followers prostrated towards him. Well, we actually only have one instance where Jesus is in full prostration that coincides exactly as the Islamic sujood, and that is Matthew 26:39, where he asks God to remove the burden of his biblical crucifixion. While at the same time, there are exactly 0 times where Jesus receives any sujood type of prostration, and 0 times where he receives latrero type worship. Latrero is the twin brother. I've heard of him recently. Orthodox. I haven't watched his stuff though. Yeah. I'll check out TikTok in the future. Thank you. I mean, look, I'm excited for Pacific to see the grander argument towards the end. Word of proskuneo, where they both mean worship. However, proskuneo includes a physical action, and latreo is exclusively for God. People might say, who cares if Jesus prayed and prostrated towards the Father only one time? It's only one time. Well, Jesus called himself God, asked his followers to worship him as a God, asked his followers to prostrate. What's up, Dragon? Salam. Welcome to chat. Good to see you. How's your weekend been? Straight towards him as a God exactly 0 times. So there's more credible evidence of Jesus being a Muslim than there is of his followers worshiping him as a God. The next very distinct Islamic action that shows a devoted believer is one who prays at night. Tahajjud is a practice when praying the 5th prayer of the day, Isha. That person will then fall asleep. And so yeah, if we want to go back to, let's see, if you want to go back to this, right, full sujood, my question is to Christians, if Jesus was praying to God, right, if he was praying to God, and there's multiple times where not even just full sujood, someone said he was standing and he was standing, he was kneeling, all of these different things. You know, my question to Christians are why do you not practice that way? Was excluded only one time. It's only one time. Well, Jesus called him. It's funny. This is the number one thing. You're claiming magic and deception. If you were around, and I hate hypotheticals, but I hate hypothetical situations. But if we look at the miracles that Moses had, right, through the will and mercy of God, through the will and mercy of Allah, the fact that he was able to have his cane, his staff turn into snakes and eat up other snakes, what do you think that is? Like, what do you think that is? Like, you're saying deception and magic. You obviously don't understand the miracles of God. Himself God, asked his followers to worship him as a God, asked his followers to prostrate towards him. Like, the fact that when people say all these things and it's like just that perfectly, you wouldn't know a miracle from God if you saw it straight with your eyes. 100%. And we have it. It's the Quran. As a God exactly 0 times. So there's more credible evidence of Jesus being a Muslim than there is of his followers worshiping him as a God. Yeah, no, 72-bit. I'll definitely. I definitely will be watching more of his stuff, for sure. I've been seeing a lot on my timeline, but I haven't given him the proper day to listen to his stuff. Next, very distinct Islamic action that shows a devoted believer is one who prays at night. Tahajjud is a practice when praying the 5th prayer of the day, Isha. That person will then fall asleep, wake up some time before Fajr, pray an even number of praying cycles called rakaz, and then possibly fall asleep again or wait until Fajr. The extremely devoted, especially during Ramadan or times of fear, will pray the entire night, with the last third of the night being the most powerful. praying at night is not unique to. And so Pacific, I mean, how can you tell us what to do when do you pray on all fours to your God? Do you pray on all fours to your God? Islam, but just how bowing and sujood is to Hajjud is the practice that is encouraged upon all of its followers rather than just monks or high priests or on certain occasions. Just like Abraham, Moses, and Aaron all perform the physical worship. I know. Ramadan, let's go. Let's go. I'm excited. Ramadan's awesome. I feel bad for people who have never experienced Ramadan. So Ramadan, my first Ramadan was 2 years ago, and then last year was my first time participating in the community, like by going to the mosque very, very often. I'm not running from my sort. Hey Pacific, do you pray at night? Answer my questions. Do you bow down or do you pray at night? Because it's obviously biblical history. But yeah, last year was my first time in the mosque like often, and it was super. It was just a great experience. I'm very excited. Towards God in the Old Testament, the night prayer to Hajjud also has a link to the Hebrew Bible. There are at least 9 verses where prophets would pray, sing, and even cry to God all night long. So, what history am I running away from? I'm accepting it. I'm accepting the fact that prophets, people all prayed at night, that they used to prostrate and pray towards God. Why doesn't the modern Christian people and followers do that? Is my question. 9 verses where prophets would pray, sing, and even cry to God all night long. The most powerful verses I want to focus on are Psalms 119 and Lamentations 2:19 for the Hebrew grammatical context. In Psalms 119, verses 62 and 148, they perfectly describe what our understanding is of the Islamic night prayer tahajjud. In verse 119:62, it reads, "At midnight I will rise to give you thanks for your righteous laws." The phrase "I rise" comes from the Hebrew word "come." Also, if I mess up any of these Hebrew words, Aramaic or Greek words, I apologize. Which literally means to wake up from sleeping and get up from the bed. Meaning, like, if I did not pronounce them properly, I am sorry. In verse 148, it reads, "My eyes stay open through the watches of the night, that I may meditate on your promises." The phrase "watches of the night" comes from the Hebrew word ashmarat, and it means divisions of the night. The Jews divided the night into structured time units exactly like the Islamic Hashar, pre-dawn hours, and the Qiyamul Layl timings. Lamentations 2:19 is a profoundly beautiful verse, and so aside from the Greek grammatical context, I just wanted to share it. The verse reads, "Arise, cry out in the night, and the watches of the night begin. Pour out your heart like the water in the presence of the Lord." Which is, I mean, look, this is just a beautiful prayer. I know I'm reading it right now as we speak, but, especially with what is going on for the past, 30, 40 years, and just the amount of suffering, as well as especially, the amount of orphans that have been created through the tragedies of conflicts and wars in the Middle East. It's nice to see how, there's almost a guideline where, praying for the innocent who have been starving. And so this is this is a tier 1 verse right here for sure. Lord, lift up your hands to him for the lives of your children who faint from hunger at every street corner. We again see the phrase "watches of the night," and that is the same word of ashmarat. Then the following line states, "Pour out your heart like..." I know, the numerical miracles are insane. Like water. The phrase "pour out" in Hebrew is shafa, which means to pour out emotions, thus mirroring the emotional spiritual state of tahajjud. The Old Testament, specifically the book of Psalms, is littered with examples of praying at night, especially the notion of waking up from sleep to cry to God. So what does this have to do with Jesus? Well, that time where Jesus was in full sujood, this was also a night prayer as well. Well, I'm just curious when people say he wanted to add on to it, or he wanted, what was the prophet, peace be upon him, supposed to gain out of this? Right? He lost so much. He lost his family. He lost his businesses. It's not like he gained a whole lot. He had to suffer a lot for this. So I'm just confused. And don't worry, we're gonna hear searching deeper. When Jesus asked God to remove the burden of that word "worshipped," you need to look at the Greek grammatical context for it. Biblical crucifixion, his followers were sleeping. The issue for them is being the flesh is weak, even though Jesus asked for them to just watch for an hour. Jesus leaves again to go pray, but once again finds his companions fast asleep because they were driven out, they were tortured, right? They lost their businesses, they had to leave their families, as well as when the prophet came back to Mecca. He not only was that a bloodless battle, he automatically said that not everyone will be forgiven, but everyone will be free, right? This is a man who saw people who tortured him, who tried to kill him and assassinate him when he left Mecca to Medina, and when he came, there was no blood shed the day he took Mecca, and he said that everyone will be free, right? Steven, come on, you've asked better questions than that one, Steven. I'm not gonna lie. I get you. I know you're trying to pull out straws, but you've asked better questions than that one. Eyes were heavy. There are several examples of Jesus praying at night or praying just before dawn, with the most striking examples besides Matthew 26:39 being Mark chapter 1:35 and Luke 6:12. Mark 1:35 reads, I mean, Stephen, look at Surah Al-Rum, Surah 30. I mean, there's prophecies, there's scientific miracles. I mean, there's mathematical repetitions. It's absurd. So you have that something was written in the 2nd century. Very early in the morning, while still dark, Jesus got up, left the house, and went off to a solitary place where he prayed. This probably better resembles the Fajr prayer, but even then, this is just another confirmation that Jesus followed an Islamic way of praying. In Luke 6:12, it reads, he went out to the mountain. Yeah, it's sad. That is a fact. That is a fact. What is the proof of Moses, to be honest? Like, I mean, if we want to look at it unfortunately, from a secular view, right, we have the Quran, we have so many different proofs from it. Yeah, again, searching deeper, you have to look at the Greek grammatical text behind what the word worship is. I bet you it's proskuneo. And proskuneo is used many times throughout the Bible. It's never... Walaikum salam. Assalamu alaikum. Walaikum salam. Yeah, you gotta look at the Greek text, because the English text will tell you a whole different story. A whole different story. And that's another whole example of why the modern Bible is corrupted. Is because the English will tell you a whole different story than what the Greek grammatical context would tell you. If it's I bet you that word's proskuneo. It's definitely not litrero. I know. We should have a poll. Can we do a poll? Can I create a poll? I don't know if I'm technically inclined, like, let's see, shoot. Creating a poll would be legit. Anyways, alright, we'll get back to it. To pray and continued all night in prayer to God. As you can see, there are several instances where Jesus goes to pray at night to God. Alright, so here's the next argument for Christians. Prayer to God. As you can see, there, this is a practice, tahajjud, where, it's encouraged for Muslims to pray at night. My question is this something that you practice as well? Is this something that you practice as well? There are several instances where Jesus goes to pray at night to God. I can once again already hear the comment section saying, well, actually, I prayed the entire night, 5 years ago. Or another person saying, well, look, I'll roll over from bed and do a quick prayer and then go back to sleep. Listen, Facebook trolls, tahajjud is a very much encouraged practice where many devout Muslims do their best to pray every single night. And, I mean, come on, it's baked into the religion. And so this practice of praying at night has been watered down through most religions over time. And so far, what I've noticed is that Jesus not only prostrates like a modern-day Muslim, but he also... Walaikum salam. Arshad, welcome to the chat. Happy to have you. How's your weekend? Yeah, 72-bit, 1000%. Look, look at Surah Al-Kafirun. This is what we worship. This is our belief. All right, I will scroll up to this chat. I'll scroll up to this soon. Genesis 17. After this video. Used to pray at night like a modern day Muslim as well. And finally, one of the most prominent indicators of being a Muslim is through fasting, specifically extended periods. All right, then again, Pacific. Do you fast? It's a fasting. Here's the question for Pacific. Do you fast, Pacific? Yes or no? Once again, fasting is not unique to Muslims, but the way it is performed, it is. Every year, during the month of Ramadan, Muslims fast for 29 to 30 days in which they consume no food or water and stay away from impurities during the time the sun is out. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, would fast. Yeah, I can react to Sunny after this video. Regularly on Mondays and Thursdays, as well as even the white days, known as the 13th, 14th, and 15th day of every Islamic calendar month. While fasting is mandatory. I have. I don't know what's the deal. In many religions. But yeah, but either way, fine. Hypothetically, let's, I hate hypotheticals though. Hypotheticals are stupid. But as a follower, no, what do you mean? Walaikum salam. I mean, look, just as the ending of the book of Mark has been fabricated and it was not a part of the original text, it gives me suspicion that there could potentially even be historical evidence of the Jesus crucifixion that was added just to give the Roman Empire Christian authority as their pagan religion was dying. I mean, look, like, yeah, I know, Saad, 100%. But, I mean, what does the Quran tell us? That their eyes, ears, and hearts will be shut to the truth, no matter how much we try. But, we'll keep them dawah. And whether they are actually practiced by the followers up for question, but most religious fasts tend to either be just for... Yeah, searching deeper, what is that word, worshipped? What is the Greek grammatical context? I guarantee it's proskuneo. Or so, or they restrict certain food groups, and you can still consume other things during the daytime. And here's also the truth. Fasting until the sun is down is not unique to Islam either. Judges 20:26 reads, "Then all the Israelites, the whole army, went to Bethel, and there they sat weeping before the Lord. They fasted that day until evening and presented burnt offerings and fellowship offerings to the Lord." The phrase to observe here is "they fasted," which in Hebrew the root word is som, which means fast. But the full word here is va yatsumu, which means fast. I know, that did 72. That's the most Facebook. It's like they look at a YouTube comment and then that's their religion, right? Like they look at something on YouTube, a YouTube comment or a YouTube video, even this, right? But they look at a YouTube comment and they're like, oh wow, because of this YouTube comment, this is what I'm basing my entire belief on. And let's say they did burn it and whatever, like whatever, nothing was changed since that moment. Fasting with no food and no water. There are other verses like Esther 4:16, which read, "Do not eat or drink for 3 days, night or day." I mean, how many times has the New Testament been changed? Or what was added to it? That's not part of the original manuscript. We have the original Arabic manuscripts. You guys can go check them out. Which, even looking at the grammatical text, it literally means 3 days and 3 nights of no. Yeah, I will. After this video, I'll react to Sunny for a little bit. No food and water. Which I've also not watched this stuff. To be honest, that causes me a little bit of skepticism because fasting with no water and food for 3 days is extremely dangerous. And now I can already hear the comment section again. Well, see, Jesus did no food, no water for 40 days. Well, actually, that's not true. Matthew 4:2 reads, "And after fasting 40 days and 40 nights, he was hungry." The word fasting here But where in the Greek manuscripts? Well, first of all, where do they prove that he's God? First of all, and second of all, around 80% of the book of Matthew was copied from the book of Mark. It wasn't word for word, but about 80% of the story, the Greek manuscript, was almost copied. In Greek as nesteo, which means to fast from food, but not inherently water. If we look at Exodus 34:28, we see that Moses was there with the... It does not. Lord 40 days and 40 nights without eating bread or drinking water. What's up, Brayden? In Hebrew, we see a double negation of he did not eat bread and he did not drink water. So I guess then according to the Bible, Moses is more godlike than Jesus. Or I guess maybe they got the stories mixed up. Or I guess there's some inflation and deflation in the two stories. Whatever, either way, fasting with no food and no water for an extended period of time has biblical history, and it's something that the prophets as well as modern Muslims practice today. I can already hear the comment sections. So yeah, fasting. Why don't modern Christians practice fasting, right? As prophets did in the past. Yo, Tone Kai, yo, jeez, that came in fiery, woo, yo, that's comment of the day right there. That's comment of all my streams so far. That's top tier stuff. That's top tier stuff right there. Oh, that's hilarious. Roaring, saying, oh, I fasted super long 8 years ago, blah blah blah, or actually I take meat on my diet for an extended period of time, blah blah blah. Or, you're a liar, this doesn't prove anything, he's not a Muslim, blah, blah, blah. Whatever. Here's my query to you. Why do you not follow in the footsteps of your God? This is Why do you not prostrate when you pray to God? Why do you not pray at night? Why do you not fast? How can you tell me to worship and respect your God when you don't even worship and respect your God? Look, whether Jesus was a Muslim or not, I don't have to prove it. And I'm just here trying to just share the knowledge that I found. Dude, don't say paganism when... Look at the Catholic Church, bruv. But ultimately, at the end of the day, don't tell me how to worship my God when you don't even worship your God the way that he worshipped his God. Yeah, I know Sneeko in Texas Muslim. I see him on... I see him on Twitter. But no, I mean, hold on, yo. Listen. I know that's a. I don't know how to pronounce your name, but I know that's a Guay or Guayin to start. But that is 1000% true. I don't know what verse it is, but it's in Exodus, and this is God telling Moses that you will be like God and Aaron will be your prophet. We don't worship a black stone. And so also Pacific, let's think about this logically, right? Like let's take a step back and just think about, this your argument here logically, right? So you're telling me that when Noah was building the ark and calling people to worship God during a time of paganism, during a time of idol worship, during a time of, premarital sex, all of these horrible things, right, in society that was producing a society that was extremely decayed, you're telling me that God then brought a flood, cleaned the entire earth besides Noah and his family, unfortunately not his son, and then a few thousand years later, he comes down in God form and says, worship me, make idols of me, make crosses in my name, put sculptures of me in your churches, make paintings of me, and also don't even bow down to me. Like, what is this? What is that? Come on, you're telling me that Noah for 1,000 minus 50 years was calling people to worship the one true God, and then now we have churches that have sculptures and white, pictures of Jesus when he was literally telling people to not worship false idols. Come on. That is ridiculous. All right. We got a request for Isaiah 6:7. Wow, that's ridiculous. You better not be trolling me with that. Oh, sorry. Can we see this? Is it clear? But not you. There's no way you can try and convince me. Oh, my. There's no way you can try and convince me that after what all of the suffering that Noah had to go through in calling people to worship God, he somehow, God came down and said, you know what, make statues of me and put them in your churches. Like that is an absolutely insane behavior, and there's no way. Let's see, we have 25 here. The Lord said to Moses, tell the Israelites to bring me an offering. You have received the offering from me, and everyone whose heart prompts them to give. These are the offerings you are to receive from them: gold, silver, and bronze. Is there a full chapter? Yeah, so they're making the table, yeah, and tabernacle. This is Exodus 25, right? Yeah. What images? If this is God, I'm confused. Yeah, I'm confused. I'm confused. I don't know what side you're on here, graphism. But I don't know where you're saying that there's images for God here, or statues for God. They're making a temple. I can see that. Yes. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for bringing me these back. Let's look at. So you want me to compare the two, NIV, and the New King James. Okay. We'll put that in. No, what is this nonsense? Search on YouTube later. All right. I don't know. Okay. So compare. Let me. Compare Genesis. Hold on, I lost your 17 9 oh 19 through 20 from NIV with NKJV. All right. We got a special request. Let's see. Okay, so this is NIV 19 to NKJV. Then God said, yes, but your wife Sarah will bear you a son, and you will call him Isaac. I will establish my covenant with him as an everlasting covenant for his descendants after him. And then in the NKJV is, then God said, no, Sarah, your wife shall bear you a son, and you shall call his name Isaac. I will establish my covenant with him for an everlasting covenant, and his sons will, and with his descendants after him. And then this is 20. And as for Ishmael, I have heard you. I will surely bless him, and I'll make him fruitful and greatly increase in numbers. And he'll be the father of 12 rulers, and I'll make into him a great nation. Yo, we're actually hitting on some points of actually my next video, funny enough. And as for Ishmael, I've heard you. Behold, I have blessed him, and I'll make him fruitful, and I'll multiply him exceedingly. He shall have 12 princes, and I'll make him a great nation. It is pretty... That's the next thing. There's actually extreme biblical prophecy about Muslims and the victory of Muslims in the Old Testament, in the book of Genesis. And so that will be my next video, inshallah. Or will it be? It will not be my next video, but it will be one of my future videos coming up. I have a cool one I'm gonna do. All right, we're gonna check on Sunny here in a few minutes, but I want to read some comments. I want to enter the chat. I feel left out. We're getting after it though. I appreciate it. In the original, it says yes. By the way, what part says yes? I mean, look, like, your religion is Paulian, like Christianity, 1000%. I don't know what your question is, Stephen, but thank you. We have searching deeper. 5:21. God hates feasts and assembles without justice. I'm confused on what that means. Yeah, I mean, you're acting like people have perfect memories. That's not true. Carl Johnson, he didn't deceive nobody. If you believe that Jesus died on the time of Jesus, it's okay. But after the coming of the last prophet, you shouldn't believe that. Yo, Carl Johnson, welcome to the chat. Thank you, brother. Thank you for your commentary. You believe what people saw. So okay, so you believe the Gospels when they didn't even have proper names until the 4th century. Yeah, they don't even have the original manuscripts were 70 years after. Yeah. Oh yeah. No, this is verse time. We'll check out one of Sunny's videos here in like 5 minutes. Yeah. But no, this is hangout time. This is let's look at some verses. Let's try to keep them not so like, you know, there's some deep ones. There's some zero-sum game ones, which and that's not today's stream. Hopefully, let's save that for like a weekday stream. This is more of like Sunday chill day. I mean, we can only be so chill. So I officially became a Muslim last year in March, but I've been practicing Islam for a couple years while I was also still deciding between Christianity. But then it was too resounding. I'm American. I don't know if you want fuller details besides that, but I am American, obviously. But yeah, I was kind of in between the two, but even from the beginning, I just understood that Islam it's a true religion, meaning like there's traditions, there's proper holidays, there's actual like proper ways to pray, there's proper ways to fast, proper ways to clean yourself, proper ways to live. Christianity is a little bit more of a free game, of course. But yeah, no, I mean, happy to answer any questions. Yeah. Oh yeah, no, for sure. I'd be happy to link up with any Islamic influencer, Muslim influencer, chat. Yeah. Oh yeah. Now that we actually have some people in, I need to remember this. Let's go to my channel. Wow, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for subscribing, many of you guys. So yeah, if you want to come debate me, talk to me, if you're born Hindu but revert to Islam. Oh, 72. Let's go. That's insane. All right, I'll look at 2 Corinthians here in a second. Yo, 72. That's an insane story. I would love to interview you and just talk to you, bro, because that's absurd. That's the coolest thing I've ever heard. Yeah, shout out to 72. Inshallah, Muhammad, inshallah. But yeah, if you guys want to come teach me about Islam, or if you guys want to come debate me, if you guys want to come just ask me questions, whatever, please join my Discord. I have a live stream. I have a live stream function set up. I need to test it out as well. But what I want to do like once a week is like have people come up and join me for like 5-10 minutes. We can have a quick discussion. You can ask me any questions. You can debate me. And listen, I'm not perfect of knowledge. Obviously, I'm just here, just to share the information that I have and to have great conversations as well. And so 1000%, 72. 1000%. Yeah. 72 with the truth. But yeah, so, please. Oh, wow. For all of those that might have been confused about what Discord to join. So yeah, it's in my description. Um, it's dude. I mean, come on. What isn't a cult mentality? Like, if we want to look at veganism, if we want to look at Christianity, if we want to look at the political sphere as a whole in America and probably all over the world. I mean, just classifying as a cult is just it's weak. So far so good. I mean, just to give you guys some information, like, like I was very fortunate enough to be, when I started to go to the mosque, often. I still go very often, but not as much as I used to, since I moved recently, and so I live kind of far away from a mosque, unfortunately, but I should be going more, inshallah. But I was able to work with many different imams at the mosque that I worked at. I also have an Arabic teacher now who I've been working with for the past 5-6 weeks, and so like 5 weeks, maybe 6 weeks now, and so yeah, I do a lot of self studies, but I would love for anyone who is a Muslim and wants to just come talk to me on my live stream, anything that they think that I don't know, or they just want to tell me their own story, or tell me a surah that they really like, or just anything that they think I should know. It would be awesome to have people come join me. I'm in California. But yeah, I used to live in San Francisco, but I came home recently. I needed to kind of get out of San Francisco for a little bit, mostly just because I was living with non-Muslims. I was living with people who actually didn't believe in God at all, and so I needed like a just kind of when you're spiritually different than the people that you live with. Nothing wrong about them. They're all great guys. I love living with them, but when you start to become spiritually different than the people in your environment, your close environment, it's just it makes it difficult. And so I needed some time away, and I'm here with my parents now, kind of taking care of them, and so it's been nice to be with them, and also because I've been working on a business as well, and so yeah, I needed, and so my goal is, inshallah, to go back to San Francisco next year, but live by myself, or maybe a Muslim brother. But you lived in Atlanta, mashallah. Wow, that's cool. I hear a lot of great things about Atlanta. 72. Your Quran says it didn't. You don't know what's in 72's heart. Yeah. No, I've been actually seeing a lot of the Muslim lantern stuff. That's who I've been kind of looking at recently. Yeah, I know. It's the YouTube comment scene is the best, man. It's the best. But yeah, so like I said, please, if you want to come chat to me, obviously not today, but like on Tuesday or Wednesday when I stream next on video. Yeah. I don't know if I'll have video, Faizan, just because like I need to be a little careful because I don't want to get banned or anything on YouTube, right? So I got to be as careful as possible. But definitely, if you want to come through voice, 1000%, you can come talk. And so yeah, this is I'll have like 1 or 2 days a week while I'll be doing this, just so like I can have a better interaction. Obviously, I love all the comments and the people that have been chatting with me here, but I also want to give the space for people who just want to come, whether they want to debate, whether they just want to talk to me for 5-10 minutes. I think it'll be cool. And so with that, someone wanted me to, and what about audio? That'll work. I believe it should work. I'll have my Discord on my screen, I believe, or at least in the background or something. I'll have it available where my recording system, OBS, will be able to record your audio for sure. And so I'm gonna mess it up in the beginning because I'm not like that I'm not like some techie nerd all that much, and so I probably will mess it up a little bit, but that's why we have the comment section here, and so yeah. But yeah, 100% Faizan, I would love for you to come chat with me. 100%. Umrah's on the agenda. We gotta go, inshallah. And obviously, may accept our Ramadans and our future Hajjs and Umrahs as well. And I'll pray that you can do Umrah and Hajj as soon as possible. All right, so yeah, we're gonna stream for about like another like 30 or so minutes. Yes, I'm live about like 2 to 3 times a week. I'll probably do like 3-ish, 2-3-ish. I love doing them. It's super fun, and I love talking with people, and I love hearing other stories and even Christians and it's great. I think it's cool. I think right now 1,000% the truth is that our world needs more God. 100%. We right now, as we saw what happened earlier today, I believe, or yesterday, with the terrorist attack in Australia, and then the awesome, amazing Muslim man who stopped the terrorist attack, and they were going to try to spin it as that this was a Muslim, performing the terrorist attack. So obviously we saw two sides of, one, we saw the media trying to push a narrative that's just not true. And then we saw a Muslim man, defend and take a couple bullets and still live. And so, alhamdulillah. And so, I think, especially now more than ever with what's happening, what has been happening for the past 40 years, geopolitically speaking, but even now, so since 2021, specifically 2023, now more than ever, the Muslim community needs to support each other, needs to, be vocal, right? Needs to, speak the truth, and, 1,000%, our world needs more God, because it is rough, man. It's rough. We unfortunately did see two sides of Islam, right? We did. Now, it's unfortunate, but hey, good always wins, right? That's the truth. So shout out to that man. His name's Ahmed, I believe. I don't know his last name, but I saw an interview, I think, of his uncle or his brother or someone in his family, and it was beautiful. And so, I mean, that's extreme bravery, and that is the will of Allah. Yep, a Muslim man was there to save. I mean, he saved Jews. Funny enough, like, he saved Jews. They were gonna try and spin a whole story about it, but yeah, alhamdulillah. Yeah, his name was Ahmed. Truly represented Islam, 1,000%. And so yeah, we're well, everyone who's in the chat, thank you so much for joining. I really appreciate it. It's been great just to feel the Muslim Brotherhood. It's been amazing. I feel like I get treated very well from people who are Muslims, and it's kind of, I've been very fortunate, alhamdulillah. And so, and the fact that online I've been creating this massive community since last week Monday, right? Since last week Monday, I've gained almost 100 new subscribers, right? And I've posted maybe 2 live streams and 1 video. And so I appreciate all of you who have come and joined me and are still here. You guys all rock, truly. And so, someone said they want me to watch Sunny Faz.
Imagine being able to build an app.
That's so loud. Sorry. Sorry. If I blew anyone's ears out, I'm sorry. It definitely blew mine out. Let's see. Is there anything that you guys I should watch? Or maybe I kind of want to watch the Orthodox Muslim. I see a lot of his stuff. Maybe we should watch his debates. I don't know what the skeptic is arguing here. It seems odd. All right. Oh yeah. You can come join me. Enter my Discord, and this week, hopefully, inshallah, we'll chat. Even though it seems like it pushed you away. We can definitely talk about a lot of different things. Drex, if you're asking me this question, you know, I mean, I'm sure every Muslim will try to answer the question of like, you know, oh, we try not to do sides. You know, we all come from the same religion. You know, obviously there's a lot of political history that, you know, created two sects, unfortunately. But what makes the most sense to me, from my understanding, is Sunni. You know, um, it seems like I'm a big believer that, you know, what was the first thing that Allah created, right? Allah created the pen. And so, you know, he's written every single thing down from beginning to end. And, you know, that is it, right? And so I believe what happens is what is supposed to happen. I believe that everything's through the will of Allah. There's no ifs, ands, or buts in this world. There is just is what happens, and obviously what didn't happen. So we shouldn't dwell in the past on what did not happen. And so because of that, Sunni makes the most sense. You know, there's a couple of things even in the ritualistic aspect of Islam that Shia do that I don't truly understand. Maybe that's just from ignorance, but and you know, one of my closest friends, he's a Sunni, he has a Shia father, and he's a great guy. So, you know, alhamdulillah. But yeah, Sunni is the path that I would believe is for me. Yeah, so I mean, though, this is an interesting question about, obviously Allah knows best, right? We always refer to Allah, but yes, there is this idea of divine destiny and divine will, whereas, you know, there's this hadith, I don't remember exactly what the name is or exactly what number it is, and I'm paraphrasing here, but there's a hadith saying that it talks about two people, right? You know, I'll refer to one because the opposite is true, but you know, there's an individual who will, you know, be an arm's length away from the hellfire, and then, you know, automatically turn around, do a bunch of good deeds all the way up until paradise, Jannah. And so, you know, the idea of, you know, what free will is obviously extremely argued, you know, point in religion or morality or atheism, whatever it may be. But yeah, it is interesting, free will, for sure. Also, the name God Logics is just super cringe. I don't know the guy personally. I don't know any of these guys, but I mean, that is shirk. Different wordings. I mean, explain then now, because the dialect is not a scapegoat, but then explain how it is. The David Lynn one, the second one. Oh, this one right here. Oh, is that God Logic? Oh, I've seen his stuff. I've seen like a couple of his things. That's actually him. All right, it's 4 minutes. We can watch it. How's that shirk? Because it's called God Logic. Does he have God's logic? That's exactly shirk. Dang, that's tough. Yeah, what is shirk? You can't call yourself God Logic, man.
You, yes, I'm talking to you. You're an ambassador to Islam everywhere you go. And what better way to be an ambassador to your faith other than rocking a premium Moroccan Gadora or jalaba as you see me rocking, the Orthodox Muslim. Get yours today on chopanddoodles.com and support the Orthodox Muslim channel.
Let's get this over with.
Can you guys remove this guy, please?
Hold on.
Continue.
Yeah, that's legit. I mean, the name's God Logic.
Don't panic.
Dang. You know what, Pacific? I forgive you for your statement of calling us pathetic. I'm sure Jesus would want me to do the same thing.
Panic logic. Don't panic, man. No panic mode today.
Assalamu alaikum assalam. I didn't bring him up. Just putting that out there.
All right, so can you remove? Can you remove? us so we can
No,
continue?
they're not gonna remove me, logic. We're gonna do the Islamic dilemma, man.
Can you remove?
Come on. Don't call it pagan. I mean, you're just refusing what Catholicism is, bro.
So we can continue, Abu Nor?
Y'all see the panic?
Yeah,
This is
yeah.
crazy.
Hey, look. I'm gonna be honest with you. One of my brothers got dropped for you one time, and I disagreed with it. I can't do it a second time.
Cool. All right, so can we do the Islamic dilemma now?
Muslim cousin, you there?
Why are you? I'm right here, bro. Why are you not talking to me, man? What's up?
You don't know who I am, skeptical, but I appreciate that.
What is guy? Are you like on the spectrum or something?
Let them finish their one-on-one, bro.
No. I have a stream in like 20 minutes. Let's just do it now.
So go ahead and.
Yeah, I was about to say, this doesn't seem like an actual conversation that they had. Yeah, this just seems like it's unfortunate too. I mean, you know, like, just don't have the debate then. Yeah. I hear what you're saying, but like, you know, I don't have anything to prove besides the law. But, you know, the overwhelming Muslim community that I have made would say 100% that this is legit. But again, I have nothing to prove to you. Oh, primate. Primate coming with the heat, dang. All right, Orthodox. Yeah, we have. Let's see. We'll stream for about like 20 more minutes. But again, thank you guys all for joining. If you haven't hit subscribe, you know, come join. Come join the family of, you know, trying to find the truth. All right. David Lynn. What do you think of the Ezra video? Are you talking about Orthodox? I was actually just researching that today. Yeah, I know. It's like, you know, we're doing this for clout. Do you think I've lost friends for clout? Like, come on. There's no way. What do I think of the Ezra video? I haven't watched Orthodox Muslim, but if he did made a video about Ezra, but I have been looking into it.
Working across teams is tough, but Asana helps you
The
handle
one below. This one? Street debate? Oh. Psh. Is there like a clip? I mean, we can watch. Jeez. I was gonna say this was super loud. Here we go.
They're at home, you know. So how are we gonna do this to make sure that nobody's cutting off everybody? Because yesterday it wasn't exactly the best.
Yep. It should be bigger now. Oh, walaikum salam, Zachariah. Welcome to chat.
We can do one mic, yeah, sure.
No, I'm good. Yeah, we know how you are with the mic, man. So yeah.
If there's one mic and nobody's talking over the mic, then I don't mind. I can share my mic.
We could time.
You want to use your mic?
We could time our talking time, man.
Oh, you want to time the talking
Yes,
time?
sir.
All right, it's time the talking time. So, what kind of time we working with? What is not allowed? Try to have a time.
Let's get into the meat.
So are we starting? So let's. I don't prepared all the time, right? I mean, man, he can say whatever he wants for.
clips and views.
There you go. I'm finding it.
The doctrine of the Trinity is false doctrine, is a philosophically speculated doctrine that was developed by ecumenical council after ecumenical council.
Okay, yo, now we're getting into some heat. All right, hey, we learn something every single day.
We see the ante-Nicene fathers before the Council of Nicaea in 325. Not a single ante-Nicene father believed in the concept of consubstantiality or co-equality that most Christians would agree on today. And so I would say that Christianity lacks continuity with the early church. I would say Christianity not only lacks continuity with the early church, but it lacks continuity with the early Jerusalem church, and it lacks continuity with the Torah and the Tanakh and the prophets of the Old Testament. Christians worship a dying, rising, mythological man god. Yeah. How much time do I have? Yeah. Christians worship a dying, rising, mythological man god. Jesus was just a man. He's a prophet of God. He's a prophet of God. He's just a man. He did not die on the cross. He certainly did not die for the sins of mankind. That is a doctrine that is alien to the Torah and the prophets, as Ezekiel chapter 18, verse 20 and 21 says. As the Torah says, there is no such thing as final sacrifice. There's no such thing as atoning for mankind. There is no such thing as Trinity. There is no such thing as hypostatic union. And there is no such thing as man God.
All right, what do we think? Fiery start. We got a fiery start. Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, it's like I mean, you know, it took all of these different notions to then create a whole new story. I mean, you know, just look at the rise of you know, the Holy Roman Empire, right? You know, I mean, that is, yeah, W start. Facts. I mean, to me, it seems extremely politically motive. Yeah, he's not wrong. Yeah, it seems a political motive, right? I mean, there was it wasn't a 1-to-1 ratio, but there was a trinity in this guy is so wrong. No. There was a trinity in the Roman pagan religion. It was a king, a queen, and I believe a son. I'm not too sure, but for sure a king and a queen. And then it almost seems like it got molded into, you know, what we have today. But again, it was not a 1-to-1 ratio. And so we're not going to go into the miracle argument again.
All right, and I'm here, I guess, to share with this guy.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to watch more of this.
Why he needs the Lord in the fullness of his sense. Christianity is the only true faith, has the only true Messiah, has the only records.
The issue is like, if that is the case, then like, why do Christians not pray in the way that Jesus prayed towards God? Yeah, join Graphism. Join my Discord. It's in my description. No. I'm not. I'm doing this on Tuesday or Wednesday. Today, Sundays, weekends are like my. You know, we're just chilling. We're just hanging out. But during the week, you can come join my live stream. Because I'm also ending the stream in like 10-15 minutes. Because the fourth prayer of the day, Maghrib, is up. But yeah, come join. Like my next stream, I'm not doing this today. I told you. But Tuesday or Wednesday is when I'll have my first one. Yeah. Yeah, come join. Yeah. Next week after, whenever, you know, no rush. Come join whenever you want. But yeah, I'm gonna start doing, you know, people can come join and come chat on stream next week or this coming week.
Of his life, his death, and his resurrection, that was at the time when he existed. There is no other revelation, especially the
Yeah, he said according to the New Testament, yeah.
Quran that can even come close. Quran is missing so many elements, so many things to verify itself and verify even the story of Jesus Christ.
That's not true. Oh, Drex. Let's go. 10 years ago. Dang. That's awesome, mashallah. Yeah, yeah. Would love to hear your story. If there's any advice you have, want to teach me something. What I want to do is like have a period where someone can come join for like 5-10 minutes. Um, you know, talk to me about whatever topic they want. If they want to talk about Christianity, if they want to talk about Jesus as God, if they want to talk about being a Muslim, if they want to talk about their favorite surah, if they want to, whatever it is, for like 5-10 minutes, I'll give people the space to come say whatever. And then, but yeah, because the thing is like what we'll see in debates is that it just becomes like a zero-sum game. And I don't, look, I don't want to disrespect, and I don't want to also like have people just say nonsense on stream, and so. But I think it'd be cool, just like 5-10 minute conversation. You want to come chat? Cool. After that, see ya, and then see you next week if you want to come talk again. Yeah, I agree. The skeptical disciple. I'm sure when I have people who join my stream, they're going to be smarter than me. They're going to know things that I don't know, and they're going to, just like what Orthodox Muslim was saying. He was talking about different councils that fitted the Holy Trinity doctrine. This is information that he knows. I have not looked too deep into this, but right, I'm sure someone has a Christian argument for them as well. I'm sure I have a Muslim argument for it as well. So I'm not a big believer in if you beat me intellectually, that's fine, but it's all about finding the truth. Because that's what's important, right? We're all trying to get into heaven, right? I think we forget that. Like, getting to heaven, getting into Jannah is the ultimate goal of this life. Anything else is failure, right? Like, I don't care if I'm smarter than you. That does not mean anything to me. Yeah, humility is key. Like, to be honest, and if you bring up a very good point, I'll honor that. I'll be like, hey, this is a great point. I'll go back and look into it. And maybe have a further. I mean, if you can even go check one of my other videos here. I debated someone testify, and 1,000%, I would say that he beat me. Even in my video, I said that he beat me. But I went back and I had a response to it. And so, yeah, if someone comes on my stream and they beat me intellectually, then, hey, alhamdulillah, I get to learn and I get to go back and educate myself. And so, and that's how I'm going to take it. I'm not going to take offense to anything. I'm not going to be butthurt about anything. I'm not here to hopefully hurt anyone's feelings either. Let's see. Oh, wow. You're 56 years old. You literally came to terms with the Trinity a week ago. Now, see, skeptical disciple, that is an interesting story I would love for you to share. Like even just coming on, we could debate, or we can even gotta go pray. Yep. May Allah accept your prayer. Yep. Maghrib for us is coming, or Maghrib in California is coming in a few minutes. I mean, look, I feel like I am halfway knowledgeable, but I'm just here to learn too. And so, like, look, you where am I from? If you're asking me, California, go to 110, like hour 10.
Babylon sees a dream of 5 kingdoms that succeed one after the other. 5 world powers. The first one is Babylon. The second one is Medo-Persia. The third one is Macedonian Greece. The fourth one is Rome. The fifth one comes after the division of Roman Empire. Daniel chapter 2 verse 44. After the division of Rome and destroys Rome.
We got some from Arabia. What time is it right now? What is it, like 7 in the morning or something? Yes. Raise the volume of the stream. Like my voice? Oh, yeah. We can do that. I have it really close to my face. Here we go. All right. I'll shut up and I'll listen. We'll listen to this.
2 different topics. Yeah, go ahead. Let's go.
All right, sounds good.
Okay, wait. So just let everybody know. Yes. So
Yeah, we are talking about, because he brought it up, guys, not me. The prophethood of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, what confirms it, and that the Quran seems to be at odds with itself because this is his claim, that it confirms the Torah and the Gospel, at the same time goes against it, so there must be some kind of confusion there, a contradiction. And I'm addressing his points. And now every time I respond to him, he just kind of like, he doesn't respond to anything. Yeah, whatever that means. So we'll get to that.
So I'm gonna start your 2 minutes right now, okay?
All right.
And then you're gonna ask him questions. You're gonna have to answer. Okay?
Sounds good.
Do I get a whole minute to say my question just like he did?
Yes.
Okay.
Sure thing.
All right, go ahead. Your time starts.
All right. So, Mr.
Yep. Have a good prayer.
David Lynn, you talked about prophecies and so on and so forth. Let me just. Who's the fifth kingdom from Daniel?
Yeah, no, you can share a link.
Hello.
Oh,
Sleeping, man.
yeah, I think it could be I think it could be Rome or the mixed kingdom.
The fifth kingdom. The fifth kingdom of God is Rome.
Oh, the fifth kingdom of the Israelites?
No, the fifth kingdom of God.
Did you say in the book of Daniel?
Yeah, no, the book of my neighbor. The book of Daniel. That's right. I keep repeating myself, but you're not listening. You're somewhere else.
You share with me what you say this fifth kingdom.
No, you're the pastor.
I don't know.
You're the pastor.
I don't.
Yeah, I haven't heard of this argument before.
You didn't stop.
I don't even know what the fifth kingdom is.
Go ahead. I just said what I said.
All right.
Okay, so
All
say
right.
say the answer. Go ahead.
All right.
What's the fifth kingdom?
All right.
Tell us.
We're gonna break it down. Daniel,
Break it
how
down.
much time do I have? Daniel chapter 2, the prophet Daniel sees King Nebuchadnezzar in Babylon sees a dream of five kingdoms that succeed one after the other. 5 world powers. The first one is Babylon. The second one is Medo-Persia. The third one is Macedonian Greece. The fourth one is Rome. The fifth one comes after the division of Roman Empire. Daniel chapter 2, verse 44. After the division of Rome and destroys Rome. The question, who destroyed the Roman Empire historically?
So I just answered your.
Whoa, okay, this is some spiciness. Okay, I'm definitely gonna look into this. Shout out to my boy who went to go pray. Oh, he's back. Yo, shout out. This is a very fascinating argument. I'm gonna do some research on this one afterwards. The levels in heaven and in hell that are in some religions is strange to me. I don't believe hell. I'm gonna take it back. Like, I believe hellfire might actually. Can someone confirm hellfire levels? I believe it does. I mean, you got to think about, like, there's different level, or at least from an Islamic perspective. Yeah, from an Islamic perspective, right? There's different levels that you're. Yeah, there's different levels that people can achieve from their deeds that they do. All right, but let's continue watching. This is getting good.
Question. It was Rome, and it was a mixed kingdom.
I said
and clay.
I said who destroyed Rome historically?
Maybe the Turkish Empire, maybe.
The Muslims, right?
The Muslims, yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. So Daniel says the fifth kingdom of God will destroy the Roman Empire, and you're telling me the Muslims destroyed the Roman Empire?
But who destroyed the Muslim Empire?
Well, what are you talking about? I didn't ask you that. I said who destroyed the Roman Empire, like the prophecy says.
Okay. Can I answer you properly? Yeah, I think that the Muslims definitely put a break in the Roman.
I mean, to dude or not to dude, then the Christian version is that no matter what your deeds are, you get the same level. It's not a caste system. It's actually almost like a capitalistic system, right? The more deeds you do, the better ranks you get. The more work you do, the more rewards you get. It's not a perfect communistic system where just because you believe the doctrine that Jesus is God, no matter what your deeds are, you get the same exact plot of land as someone else. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but the Muslims, because of the empire was so weak, and this actually goes back to Surah 30, Surah Al-Rum, because of the Roman Empire was so weak, and because of... What do you mean it's wrong? What is wrong? Because of the Roman Empire was so weak and the Persian Empire was so weak, it was the Muslim takeover for hundreds of years. There we go. Shout out to dude.
Empire, but the Roman Empire still had its power into Western Europe and in certain regions for a very long time. So yes, overall, overall, I would say the Muslims. Overall, I would say the Muslims, broke that little period, but then the Muslim Empire got broken too.
So my time is up. I'm just gonna land.
Yeah, go ahead. I answered you.
He said, it's funny, he has no clue, it's so funny. Western Rome was invaded by the Germanic tribes of Europe in the 5th century, and it ended there. The Eastern Roman Empire continued until 1453, when the Turks, the Muslim Turks, marched through Constantinople, the very gem of the Roman Empire, the very gem of Constantine, and took it over until this day. It is Istanbul. So according to you, does Islam fulfill Daniel chapter 2 by destroying Rome? Yes or no?
No.
Okay, so now we're all over the place. So first, let's know that.
All right. Yo, this was a great video. Thank you so much for recommending this. I'm going to look at Daniel chapter 2 after this. It is Maghrib prayer in 2 minutes here. So thank you guys all for tuning in today. It was super fun. It was great. Always hang out with you guys. Again, if you want to come chat, if you want to come tell me your story, if you want to come debate, obviously please keep it respectful, but I understand things can get heated within this stuff. I'm going to do my best to be respectful to you. Go to my description, click, or go to the Discord. We will probably do it once or twice a week, where I'll just have people come join up. But Catholicism. But yeah, again, thank you guys so much. It was super fun talking with you guys. And I'll probably come stream Tuesday or Wednesday this week. I'll make a community post about it. But yeah, again, thank you for this. Thank you for showing me this. I'm super excited. And guys, have a great rest of your night, your days, and I'll talk to you guys soon.